Kyle, you're there? Is Kyle there? I will welcome everyone to this Commonwealth AMA. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name's Tim McCann. I'm COO, and apparently I'm co-hosting this AMA as well. Just waiting for Kyle to join. I know
I'm here.
he was on his way to find somewhere
I
quiet to be able to talk.
I am.
Hey,
Hello,
Kyle.
hello.
How are
I'm
you?
doing very well, thank you.
Cool, cool, cool. We're just waiting for people to arrive, so tell us how your day is going.
Very good. Yeah, just actually at the same restaurant where we saw you guys off last time that you were here for our Commonwealth workshop at Sway.
Oh,
Very nice.
nice.
Yeah, so just stepped away from the table to take this Twitter Spaces.
So we're interrupting your
I
coconut
hope you.
tiramisu, are we?
I haven't got to that stage yet.
Very good, very good. We're just waiting for people to arrive here. Just so everyone is aware, we are going to make some nice, big, juicy announcements today. So please stay tuned, and we will actually release the news during this AMA. So I hope everyone is on the hook, waiting to hear what we've got to announce. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And we've also got some nice updates as well, some really nice updates about what we've been up to this week. Hopefully, you've started to see us a little bit more, or you've started to see Commonwealth appear more and more in your feeds and different people that you recognize talking about Commonwealth. So, yeah, some thumbs up there. That's good. Very, very good. Yeah. Anything else that you guys want to discuss today? By the way, the aim is at least to make most of the spaces, or sorry, the AMA, free for asking anything. And that is the purpose of an AMA. So we'll do the updates as quickly as possible, and then welcome in the community to ask questions, anything that's on your mind. Obviously, there's a few interesting things going on right now. There's the NFT upgrade, there's the staking, there's the Genesis 2, Genesis Series 2 coming live next in the next 10 days. So lots happening. And in amongst all the gas issues we're having on Ethereum, lots of cool discussions. So yeah, there's plenty to get into today. Just going to hand back over to Kyle, and maybe he can kick things off a little bit and just remind people about what Commonwealth is.
Sure. So if you guys are new here, new to Commonwealth, it is really exciting, actually. What the team has done is essentially built a protocol that mimics a traditional venture capital style fund, modified it, dramatically improved the process, and decentralized it. One of the biggest core values of Web3 is inclusivity. And in the traditional world, especially in the financial traditional world, inclusivity is reserved for the 1%. It is, for the elites. And Commonwealth feels that inclusivity should be for all, for everybody. And while most traditional fund structures have very high barrier to entries, usually requiring, ultra high net worth individuals, accredited investors, millionaires to be able to participate, Commonwealth is lowering that barrier of entry all the way down to where anyone can participate and get the same kind of opportunities that previously were only afforded for the rich. And we want Commonwealth would really like to even the playing field, right? Allow greater wealth creation. Of course, there is potential risk like anything. But as an investor myself, and I'll speak on behalf of myself and not on behalf of Commonwealth right now, I will say that when I take bets on where to allocate my capital, typically I generally have less risk and typically higher upside when I place my bets in several early stage Web3 startups rather than investing in the secondary market on tokens that have already started being traded and have already appreciated quite a bit. You know, even when we talk about corrections in the market, while a lot of retail investors who might have been buying their favorite altcoins or Bitcoin, you know, toward the top of the bull market, you might now be down anywhere between 50 to 80+%. But most VCs, you know, their investments, maybe they're at break even, or maybe they're down 5% or 10%, or maybe they're up 2x when the retail markets are suffering much, much worse. So it is a mitigated risk. It is a reduced risk approach. It is not a zero risk approach, but venture capital is a very interesting field. And Commonwealth is attempting to open that up for everybody to be able to get involved. And they're setting up an autonomous protocol to make it so that you don't have to make it your full-time job. You can have your full-time job, and if you choose to take some of your disposable income from time to time and you want to put it in the hands of a community or a fund that you think is better prepared to allocate your capital than you are yourself, well, this is a perfect opportunity. And so this is a little bit more abstract, high-level overview of Commonwealth than we've done before. Normally, I go into it kind of step by step. What is it? But I just want to talk from my own personal perception of what's going on and why I think Commonwealth is really interesting, exciting, and a really great opportunity for anyone looking to get into crypto space.
I think that was a great summary. Thanks, Kyle. That's really awesome. Is there anybody with any questions right now on that, or can we go straight into the update for the week? Unless anybody has any burning questions or anything to add, I'm going to invite Tony Kelly up to give us the update on what's been happening this past week or so since the last AMA. And for those of you who don't know Tony, he's the lead of Commonwealth as in terms of the executive. He's been with Commonwealth since the very beginning. It's around 14 months now. And he has been largely influential in leading the team to design and build what is the Commonwealth protocol and application right now. As I always say, what Tony has forgotten about tech, I'll never be lucky enough to know. He's been in the industry for over 30 years. He's been at Intel, at Activation Blizzard. He was VP at Activation Blizzard, if I'm not mistaken. Tony, you can correct me if I'm wrong. And he's brought software to market with over 600 or 700 million users. So Tony knows a thing or two about tech. And this week, I'm glad to see that he's actually able to use Twitter Spaces properly, and that he can come in now and give us an update on what's been going on for the last week. Tony, go ahead. If you're on mute, Tony, unmute yourself.
I said, thank you, Tim. I said, your introductions are getting kind of more flattering by the day, and I'm cringing more and more. But thank you for that introduction. Yeah, we've had a crazy couple of weeks. We're really busy, as Tim has mentioned, and as you guys will have been hearing from John and Tim and the team over the last couple of weeks. So last week we launched all-time high gas prices, the migration for the NFT, the Genesis NFT. And as you know, gas prices are quite an issue at the moment. It actually caused the deployment which started at 8 a.m. To run for 16 hours before the deployment was complete, just because of the volume of traffic caused by Pepe, etc., etc. But what folks might not know is that the test nets for Ethereum are also under quite a lot of strain. And it's significantly slowing down development time and testing time as well. and it's orders of magnitude worse than on the mainnet, which is the really strange thing. Just to put it in perspective for you, last week when gas prices were, the network was very congested, gas prices were almost at 200 gwei on mainnet. On Gwirly, the test net, they were 7,000. Just to put that in perspective, that's how bad the impact was going on testnet. So that's obviously slowing things down. So apologies that we're taking a little bit more time to get some of these things to market, but we're on track at the moment. So things are good. So migration has started. There's no deadline currently for upgrading your NFT. However, within hours, we will be launching NFT staking today, which will enable the Genesis One NFT holders to stake for rewards from today until TGE. And from next week, when the Genesis Genesis Series 2 go on sale, they will also be available to be staked for daily rewards. So we think this will be the kind of forcing factor for most people to upgrade. As I mentioned, NFT staking passed through its final suite of testing today. So directly after this space, I will be starting the deployment with the team, and we hope to have it out very, very soon. So watch this space. Lastly, on the gas fees, we've opened up a poll in the community. As you know, there are a number of factors going into our decision about how we were planning on doing the sale. And the decision to open up the decision to the community is because one of those decisions is around, it will affect the fundraise, in the sense of, the strategy of doing the shorter windows was all about kind of driving engagement. But we just felt that there was such a big impact on the community that it was unreasonable to expect people to be only able to mint at fixed times of the day. So we want to open up that choice to you guys. The actual allocation of NFTs available each day will stay the same. However, you'll be able to pick and choose which time of the day you want to mint. And we can provide some resources near the time, so you can see gas trackers with kind of recommended times for doing, recommended times of the day local to your time zone for doing the minting to help you out. Did I miss anything there on staking, Tim? Did I capture everything?
No, I think it's fine, Tony. That was great. Thank you. I see somebody's requesting to speak. Is there someone from the community who wants to speak? Connor, is there someone looking to speak here? Okay. Just while we're waiting for that person to come in, Tony, I don't know if you have anything you'd like to say about the layer 2 discussions that have been ongoing.
Yeah, perfect. That was the last thing I was going to mention, Tim. Thanks. Yeah, we're not ready to reveal too much yet, but we obviously are actively looking at layer 2 and scaling solutions for TGE and the platform launch. I don't want to say too much, except we're very close to making some decisions and announcements, and stay tuned over the coming weeks. I suspect, at a guess, it's probably 2-3 weeks away before we'll be able to clarify everything, but we're very excited by where things are going, and stay tuned, I guess.
Okay, that's a nice tease there, Tony. Thanks for that. Elon Moist is here, and Elon Moist, if I do recall correctly, you were also on the Spaces last night with RecQ and those guys, and I heard you asking a question. But go ahead and see if it's a new question. Welcome.
Great.
Unmute yourself.
You.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes. 5 on 5. Go ahead, Elon.
Great. So, wonderful presentation, by the way. So today I would like to know about your mobile application. So are there any requirements before a user can fully register and also make use of your platform? And also, how do you plan to prevent thefts on your platform?
Great questions, Elon Moist. Thanks for that. Let me see. Is there anybody in the panel that would like to tackle that one?
I'm happy to go for it if no one else is willing to take it.
Yeah. Go ahead, Tony.
So the mobile application we're building, it's a progressive web app. So it works just like a website. However, you can install it like an app. And potentially it opens up lots of benefits for us. If at a later point we are able to submit through the app stores, we would then have that option available to us as well as a distribution channel. In terms of there will be some kind of sign up required, whether it's just via a wallet or whether it's via an email or an optional email. We're still figuring out refinements to that. It was actually one of the first pieces we built, was how to authenticate users on the platform, take advantage of all the learnings we have and analytics that are very analytics driven from Web 2, but try and do that in a very privacy focused Web 3 centric kind of way. And I think we've cracked that. I think we'll be able to talk about that at a later point. But for now, what we're doing is we're still refining the actual flows that we have. So we're not ready to show that yet. That's one of the pieces we'd want to work through with the community, I think, during the closed betas. So that's the authentication piece. But yeah, you can sign up very easy. We're really optimizing this for accessibility, for putting a really premium on user experience to remove as much friction as possible. And that's everything from the investment workflows down to things like being able to stake, claim rewards, and do all those things with a minimum amount of fuss and friction. In terms of security, we're non-custodial. We don't hold any of your money at any time. Every transaction on Commonwealth is on-chain via smart contracts. The staking are all unlocked staking contracts. Vesting, they're kind of bulletproof vesting contracts, even down to how we engage with the projects. And that's something that we're not quite ready to talk about yet, but it's one of the most exciting things I think we're doing, is we're not just disrupting the space for retail investors, we're actually disrupting the space on the VC side as well. We're bringing in quite a few innovations there too. And I think the level of attention we're given how we engage with projects through the funds and through the platform is going to be quite eye-opening, and there's going to be a lot of partnerships to be discussed and announced there. I think it's going to be a very exciting innovation for the space, but again, we're not quite ready to talk about that one just yet. However, as I said, everything's non-custodial and all secured by audited smart contracts. We will never have your money on Commonwealth at any time.
Thanks, Tony. I think that's really useful. Thanks, Elon Moise. I'm going to invite you in to see if that covers your question. I just wanted to say one more thing as well. You have to think about what we're doing from the Commonwealth executive side is designing and building the platform, the technology that will be used by people, retail investors, and the community to use the platform for the purposes of investing into these early stage investments and whatever other products that the platform then offers down the line. So it's really important, I think, that you don't feel like or think that we're a group of people as Commonwealth who are going to take your money and do investments. That's not true. We're building a technology that it's allowing this to happen, and that technology will run by itself permissionlessly in a decentralized manner via blockchain technology. So I think that's really important, just to always clarify that, so that we don't give the wrong message or the wrong expectation of what we're doing. Is that, Elon, does that cover you? Do you have any more questions before we move on?
Yes, it does answer. Well answered. So secondly, I would like to know, would there be wallet extensions, or am I only linked to using your platform on just the mobile app on my device? Would there be extensions for PC and the likes?
Great question. Tony, over to you.
Yeah, it's not so much extensions. Like it's a progressive web app, so it works exactly the same on PC and web as it would on your mobile app. In terms of wallets, yeah, no, you bring your own wallet. So again, we're non-custodial, so you can connect it with. It's all external wallets, basically. There's no wallet provided by us for the use of the platform. The exception to that is we give new users who don't have a wallet the option for us to automatically create a wallet for them on chain. And we do that in a privacy focused way and make sure they get the private keys, etc., in a very secure way. And only when we know they've backed up those secure keys, we remove any reference to that wallet, if you like. It's now entirely within the user's hands. So it's always through other wallets. We don't provide a wallet directly ourselves, and it's not required to use the app. I hope that answers your question, Elon.
Elon, you're doing
Thank
well
you.
here. I'll give you your last question so we can move on to our next piece. Elon, do you have any more questions for the panel?
I'm okay for now. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Elon. Listen, you've been present in both of our AMAs that I've seen you this week, and you've asked questions. So stay tuned, or please DM us for a free mint of the Genesis 2 NFT for 22nd of May. Well done, sir. Thanks very much. Guys, we're moving on. Yeah, cool, man. Well done. We're moving on to the next piece of the AMA. I'm delighted to have somebody in the crowd who is part of this next piece of news. So, as you all know, Commonwealth is not about the institution; it's about the individuals, and it's about the 99%. But what Commonwealth does need is people to carry that message, so that the 99% actually get to learn about Commonwealth. So what we've been looking for weeks and months is advocates, ambassadors, and people who align and resonate with what Commonwealth is trying to achieve. Sort of first principles decentralization in a safe and secure manner, information and education which empowers people to navigate a new technology industry in a safe way, and empowers them also to take control of their own financial futures. And we feel like we found the perfect person, and we've been talking to this person for weeks and months now about Commonwealth. And I'm really glad to announce that Miles Deutscher is agreed and is coming on board as a Commonwealth advisor for the long term. And Miles is here now, and I just want to invite him up to just say a couple of words. And yeah, congratulations, Miles, on becoming part of All Street and joining the 99%. We're thrilled, obviously, to have you with your purist outlook on Web3 and blockchain, and hopefully you can keep us true to our word and hold us accountable to what we're doing and represent the community in a great way. So welcome, Miles, and if you're there, I'd love to have you come on and just tell us why you thought Commonwealth is a worthy initiative to join.
Thank you for the warm intro, Tim. I appreciate it. Mind you, it's getting pretty late here, so I'm quite tired. So if I struggle to string a sentence together, it's because I just woke up from a bit of a nap. But I appreciate the welcome. I think the thing is with Commonwealth for me, like you guys know, I don't really do that many like advisory deals, and I don't really promote or work with that many projects. But when you guys approached me and pitched the project, I think it took a while to sink in, but once I finally understood it, I think it really for me filled that need that's like so necessary in the DeFi space that I struggled with when I was first getting into crypto, like getting access to deals and access to deal flow. And it wasn't until I was like a bigger creator that I started to get these connections with bigger projects and people in the space. But like for the average retail person, it's very, very like difficult to do so. So like I just see the merit in having like a fair system that can actually allow retail access to the same kind of deals that we get. And I think it's kind of a pretty like noble mission. And I think it's quite cool because I think it can blossom into quite a strong community, and everyone can kind of help each other succeed, because I feel like this space at the moment especially is like very PvP. And I think we need like more community in the space. I feel like everyone's like fighting against each other, like even these last couple of weeks, just like fighting against each other for like meme coin profits and then dumping on retail. And I feel like we need communities where we're kind of like all together on a similar mission. And I feel like through Commonwealth, that's giving like people an avenue to do that and be a part of something bigger. So yeah, I appreciate the words, and I'm also excited to be a part of it and help you guys like as an advisor. For me, it's more just about helping you guys execute the vision. I'm obviously not here to shill. I said like I don't even really take that many project deals, but I think it's a cool thing that I'd like to be a part of and see if we can grow it into something much bigger. And yeah, obviously I have quite a lot of experience in the DeFi space throughout my few years now in the space, and I think some of the stuff that I've learned from other projects and my successes and failures can help Commonwealth as well. So yeah, I think that's that for now.
Brilliant, Miles. I mean, you wouldn't tell that it's late at night and that you just woke up for a nap. I think that was really eloquent, and I think you're used to talking, so that's brilliant. But
well,
listen,
I do it every day for a job. Well, exactly. I stream like 2 hours a day at the moment. It's crazy. I'm doing an hour on YouTube, then 30 minutes with my Instagram, and then yeah, I'm a professional talker these days. So you get decent at it, I feel.
Well done, man. Well done. Listen, I hope you save some time to help us craft our future and do right by the Commonwealth community and the 99%. I wonder if Kyle wants to come in and just say a few words as well. And I don't know if you guys, Kyle, if you have any questions for Miles, or if anybody in the audience does before we say goodbye to Miles. I know he couldn't stay for a long time, so I'll open up to Kyle, and then if there's anybody who would like to ask any questions to the panel or to Miles, please request to speak.
Yep. Welcome to the team, Miles. Good to have you. And yeah, definitely look forward to seeing what you can bring to Commonwealth. This is, I think that one of the things that everyone should realize about Commonwealth is that even though there's a pretty profound team, helping put this together now with an even stronger advisory board and a really strong core team, Commonwealth is decentralized machinery, and the intention is for it to be released to the wild. And so, we are all Commonwealth. We are all the 99%. But it is important how we structure things in the early days and how we set the tone, things moving forward. Maybe, Miles, you can share with the audience a bit about what you've talked about with the team on, what kind of the expectations or conversations you've had with the team about how you anticipate bringing value to the project and what you see your role, kind of your roles and responsibilities like.
Yeah, for sure. I think I've been on a space with you before, Kyle, but I can't remember. I join a lot of spaces, but if not, yeah, I'll formally introduce myself. But I think we have spoken probably at some point.
Probably.
But yeah, so there's definitely a few things. I think the first thing is obviously expertise. Like I've seen a lot of projects succeed. I've seen a lot of projects fail, and I think I've got a pretty good grasp, especially from the marketing side of like how to do a successful project launch, how to execute, how to build community. Like basically as a content creator, like a YouTube streamer, through stuff I've done on Instagram, even like content on Twitter, you kind of get a really good feel for like how to build community, because our job basically is building community, right? As a creator, like it's really about like engaging people and helping people along your journey as well. And that's something I feel like it's valuable insight that I can help the project with. So that's just one thing. I would also say, like, I think the plan is for me to at some point probably sit on the council, which is obviously going to involve bringing in deal flow for the project. So something I'm spending a lot more time doing now is actually speaking to like I basically meet with projects every day, right? And I'm getting much more active in that space. I guess when I first started my Twitter account, I was kind of just like tweeting behind a screen, but now I've learned it's actually more valuable to actually build connections in the space. So I've gone to like a lot of conferences, like I'm going to Miami next week, and I'm much more involved now on the project side. So like meeting a lot of projects, like actually trying to become more of a builder, because I feel like it's very easy to just to sit behind a Twitter avatar and just write threads, but I'm trying to get more involved with actually building. So this is also a good challenge for me to like see if how I can contribute on the deal flow side. And I think it's good synergy because I'm taking a lot of meetings anyway. So I feel if I get any good offers or any deals, I feel like it's like a natural progression to open that up to Commonwealth if possible, of course. So yeah, there's the value add there. There's the value add of the experience. There's also the value add of marketing. One of my good friends, Fur, is the founder of a Web3 agency who I've been advising, and he's going to help with the KOL side as well as the strategy side to help not only with the mint in a couple of weeks, but also with building community going forward. So I think that's going to be, that's going to be cool as well. So there's a variety of things, Carl, I think that I can help with, and yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Miles. I know FA, you come up as a speaker, long time no see, bud. Do you have a question for Miles or myself, or?
Yeah, I just wanted to jump in very quickly, and I was looking through the Commonwealth websites and the project itself. I had a brief read of the light paper, and it looks very, very interesting. I think the branding was done very on point in terms of the message behind the entire Commonwealth project itself. So I think it could be a very cool project. I just wanted to come in and share some nice words. Kyle, it's been a very long time, man. It's so awesome to see you and hear your voice. Let's definitely catch up soon, but congrats, guys. I think you've done a very nice job.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, FA is go check him out, guys. If you have if any of you have kids out there, when I met FA, I think he was 13 at the time. We've done some did some collabs on our YouTube channels, and really passionate and enthusiastic kid. Awesome to see your enthusiasm. Thanks for coming.
Thanks so much, Kyle. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Sounds like somebody might be good for joining 99% All Street.
100%.
Miles, how's it going, buddy?
Yo,
so stoked to have you on board. It's been quite hard to not let the cat out of the bag, but I must say you weren't easy nut to crack. We've had many calls talking about Commonwealth, and you've done your DD and you've done your deep dive. So yeah, man, so stoked to have you on board. You're a good friend of mine, and can't wait to see what's going to come.
I think the one thing that kind of really stood out, before I head off in a sec, I'd love to stay long, but I'm in the house with others, and they're kind of telling me to be quiet because it's late. but I'll just leave with one more key thing. I think that the main thing that stood out when I was first came, obviously it's really hard to understand a project, right, when they first come to you, because I get a lot of projects come to me, and it's kind of just reading a white paper or just reading a website. It's really hard to differentiate what's good and bad about a project. But I think the one thing that stood out about Commonwealth was the fairness of the launch, and the fact that it's not predatory in nature in terms of its tokenomics. You guys are distributing the NFTs to the holders who are basically going to own the protocol, right? So it's decentralized in nature, and you're also setting up with the DAO structure. If you actually go onto the light paper and look at the tokenomics, revenue flows clear. It's to the holders. So I think that the one thing that stood out was the fact it isn't just a Sui or an Aptos or a freaking Solana, where it's just insiders bag dumping, and it's actually no, if you hold an NFT, you own the protocol, and you are going to earn from the upside of the protocol. So that's I think that the major thing that I liked, and also even the advisors, we have tokens that are vesting over 2 years. It's not even a question of whether we can just dump on people many other projects which just unlock straight away. So so many measures have been put in place to make sure it's fair. And when people bought those first NFTs, they didn't even know what they were getting. They didn't even know what they were buying, and it could end up being gold. So that was the cool thing, I thought.
Thanks for that, Miles. Listen, we'll let you go off to the night time in Australia. Thanks so much for joining us, and I hope to see you very soon, bud. Everyone, just thanks, Miles, and speak to you soon.
Cool.
Cheers,
I'll
Miles.
be in the US and Europe soon, so we'll be on better times throughout the rest
Better
of the
time zones. Brilliant.
Yeah, for
Thanks,
sure.
Miles.
Sure. All right, I'll
Cheers, buddy.
man.
We'll catch up soon.
Ciao.
Something Miles touched on there, which I think is super important, is the Genesis NFT and what that means. It's not just a profile pic, and I hope everyone's understood that by now. So the Series 1 was, like Miles said, the OGs essentially who decided that Commonwealth was something they wanted to be part of, and essentially they didn't even know, but they were actually buying governance tokens of Commonwealth, and they were actually getting access to the success profits of the protocol for life, and that is, a tip of the hat to the people who backed this project and backed the idea of what we were trying to achieve from the very beginning. So congratulations to everybody who has a Series 1 Genesis NFT. But for those who don't, and for those who want to also be part of Commonwealth and become essentially founders of Commonwealth, the Genesis 2 NFT will be starting to mint from the 22nd of May. Genesis NFT Series 2 is a smaller NFT. It's a smaller version of the first one. And that just means that it's cheaper. It's $99. And a maximum of 8,991 of those NFTs can be minted over 9 days, which will start on the 22nd of May. Whatever is not minted will be removed from the supply, which essentially means that the 2.2% of the allocation of Commonwealth, the 22 million tokens, will be spread across whatever the amount of NFTs were that were minted. So let's say 4,000 NFTs are minted, then it's 22 million across those 4,000 NFTs. And the revenue share of 3% will be spread across those NFTs as well. So it's not 100% clear yet what the final utility will be of those Genesis 2 NFTs, but you know the dynamics, you know the mechanics, and we'll see in a few days how that plays out. But if you want to become an OG or a mini OG of Commonwealth, then that's the way to get involved from 22nd of May. So just wanted to let everyone know about that. Is there anybody wanting to come in?
Timmy, I had a few DMs last night after our spaces from a couple of people asking about a whitelist spot and asking if the Gen 1 guys or girls get a whitelist spot. Do you want to maybe touch on how the whitelist process is going to work?
Well, there's going to be a lot of ways to get whitelists. Well, not a lot of ways, but there's essentially the people who are in the community that are spreading the word about Commonwealth are being randomly sort of rewarded with whitelists. Even what was his name? Elon Moist, who was just up here. He actually just got given a free mint, which means he'll be able to go and mint one NFT whenever the mint goes live. So through competitions, and just stay tuned to the Twitter, look for Commonwealth on the Twitter, and you will likely come across the opportunity to get a whitelist or even a free mint. It depends on what the competition is. And I think what John's alluding to is there has been quite a lot of discussions over the Genesis 1 holders, and there is an agreement that Genesis 1 holders will get a whitelist to mint before anyone else for the Series 2. Is that what you're referring to, John?
I just wanted a very plain answer, just about the Gen 1 guys. Do they get a whitelist spot? Will they be first in line to be able to mint? And I think you just answered it, that they will be. How do they send their addresses in, or will it be automated with the address that holds the Gen 1?
I'll have to defer back to you there, John, because Tony on the line right now is probably having a slight kitten, because we haven't designed exactly the functionality. We've got a few days ahead of us, but what I will say is we will announce that in the Telegram channel and also on Twitter, how the Gen 1s can get access to the whitelist.
Brilliant. Yeah. As I said, I got a few DMs last night, and I thought that a lot of those people will be here again today, so I thought we could just touch on that.
No, it's very cool. It's very cool. Do we have anybody else wanting to come up and ask a question? If not, I'll move into the next piece of news because Miles was indeed a huge announcement coming on board as an advisor of Commonwealth, Miles Deutscher. But he's not the only one that's being announced right now. I don't know if any of you have managed to read the announcement that we've just released, but Nitin Gaur is also going to join Commonwealth as an advisor. And Nitin is an absolute powerhouse in finance and in Web3. He currently holds down an employment at State Street Bank. But I would say if Tony's the guru of tech, then Nitin would be the guru of finance and also Web3, all things Web3 finance. He's got a big passion for VC DAOs, so like how to decentralize investment in general. And whenever he met us in Puerto Rico at a VC DAO conference, he was really taken by what Commonwealth is trying to achieve. It goes to the maximum degree when it comes to trying to decentralize and open up the whole investment landscape when it comes to venture capital. So Nitin was pretty bullish about Commonwealth from the first moment, and we were bullish about Nitin from a business development point of view, from a financial point of view, from everything in that environment. Nitin will bring a huge amount of value to Commonwealth. So we're very excited to welcome Nitin also onto the advisory into the advisory group and part of the Commonwealth team. Seeing some reactions there. Is there anybody else would like to? I've got one more announcement, but I feel like I'm talking a lot, so I'm just looking to the community. If there's anybody out there would like to come in for a question, this is an AMA. You're supposed to be asking as well as listening. Do we have anyone wanting to come up? Anybody in the panel want to ask a question or make any more announcements?
Looks like Elon's still on the stage. He's so comfortable in all of our AMAs. He just decided to stay up here today.
Well, it is the 99%. It's All Street. You're welcome, Elon. I'll announce one more announcement then whilst I'm in the flow. All Street Beat is going to be a new Twitter Spaces show that's launching on the 22nd of May. All Street Beat will be hosted by Commonwealth, and it's 22nd of May will be the first show. And we're putting a lot of effort into the show to pull together the most important people in Web3 and also in venture capital. So hopefully we'll have a lot of names that you'll recognize. We'll put them on stage as a panel, and we will ask them very, very tough questions about the future of investment in Web3. Our first show will be dedicated to asking the question, what is the future of retail investment in Web3? And I think this is a really, really important question. As Miles was talking about in his little brief introduction today, we have a major problem. It's the whole space is kind of picking from each other. It's kind of it's becoming a little bit incestual and also difficult to figure out what the future looks like if we're all just taking from each other, right? If VCs are using retail as exit liquidity, then that's not really sustainable and it's not the future, especially not in an industry that depends on and is actually created by the community. So we're going to be putting those tough questions to an expert panel on the 22nd of May. Stay tuned on our Twitter for the announcements. So it's called the All Street Beat, and it will launch on the 22nd of May. So looking forward to having you all there. That'll be, I think, a super, super interesting spaces to attend. Brilliant. Over to somebody else in the panel.
Is that gonna, Tim? Is that gonna be on? Is that gonna be here in Twitter Spaces, or is it gonna be YouTube, or where are people gonna find that podcast?
Yeah, it's a good question, Kyle. It's actually in the Spaces. It's going to be Commonwealth's show in the Twitter Spaces. Yeah, so stay tuned on Twitter. You'll see the links and the announcements. I think Connor's actually busy posting the announcement now, so you can actually go and check our Twitter and find out about the All Street Beat show. Kyle, do you have any people that you would like to invite to the All Street Beat? Do you have any names of kind of the types of profiles we can expect to have on the show?
I have a Rolodex. We'll go through them.
Brilliant, brilliant. Somebody has requested to come on stage, so Crypto Erwin, come ahead.
Hi, thanks, man. So, well, it's evening here, evening everybody, or morning on your time. First of all, I want to say I really appreciate what you and all the other founders like Kyle and everybody is doing with Commonwealth, right? I really like the idea that I understand that you guys don't need any extra capital from Commonwealth, from everybody else. You already have like tons of funds available if you want to do it yourself, right? You've been a VC before, you've done deals before, so basically you can do it by yourself. But you are opening up the opportunity for everybody on the streets to be able to participate, to have a bite of what you guys are having. So I truly appreciate that gesture, and I don't know, like it's something that you guys don't need to. I mean, like, of course there are benefits, like even though it's a small amount, but if there are thousands of people joining, then it can be additional, maybe $1 million or something for the funding, right? But then again, I don't think that you need it. You didn't need it, but you're still doing it anyway out of the goodwill to help everybody else. So thank you for that. That's all I want to say.
Thanks for the kind words.
Brilliant.
Thanks for the kind words. I think, for those of us who are builders in the space, this is what blockchain was built for. This is VC investing is still a centralized, like traditional VC investing is. Even though you might be investing in Web3 companies, it's still a centralized it's traditional finance company. And one of the things for myself personally, I know a lot of others on the team that were motivated by the mission of what we're doing, was to use blockchain for its intended purpose to open up and democratize opportunities. I think that's really what aligns us all for sure. And when you hear Miles speak, and what got Tony to leave his job before, which was certainly paying him more and a more secure job, and Alan coming on board as an advisor who was at Facebook before, and it's the one thing that has aligned all of us is that we hear you guys, right? And for most, when you come into crypto, it's a really daunting world to step into, and there's an opportunity is far and few between, and it's so hard to get access to really amazing deals at an early stage. And to be honest, it's a Silicon Valley, Wall Street buddy kind of thing, right? And it's kind of dominated by a couple handfuls of VCs, and that kind of, in my opinion, should change a bit, right? I mean, really good projects should link up with a really good, should have a really good cap table full of excited investors. And this is what one of the things that Commonwealth does, is it brings together community who crowd fund together, and write a check into a project. And instead of having one VC who thinks that they add enough value by putting their logo on a project, when Commonwealth invests into a project, you've got hundreds or thousands or one day tens of thousands of people who now have skin in the game, who want to see that project succeed and are going to be advocates or ambassadors for that project. And that is what we call smart money. That is, and when you're a good project looking to see what kind of investors should come into your project, you want smart money. You want value add investors, and Commonwealth certainly is a value add investor. And one of the most beautiful things about this model is it's a win-win for everybody involved. There's zero value extraction in this ecosystem. The token economic model that Commonwealth has created is one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen, and everybody gets the benefit by being part of it. And so thanks for coming up and saying those kind words. It means a lot, as it is our core value and ethos. It's the very heart of what we do. And so I appreciate you for acknowledging that. And I certainly think comments like that help the team push harder and push through another day, because the team is small right now. They're working overtime, and one of the things you said is that we don't need the money, but it's all been crowdsourced. It's all been crowdsourced so far. So, but yeah, anyway, that's what I want to say, and thank you for acknowledging that. Appreciate it.
Very well said, Kyle.
That's very nice. Connor, would you please get that guy's Twitter handle and also DM so that we can give him a free mint for the Series 2, please? I think, yeah, he's exactly the kind of guy that is welcome on All Street.
Kyle,
thanks for that, Kyle, as well. I think that was, yeah, go ahead, John.
Kyle, can you think of any other projects in the space that have been community funded off the top of your head?
Any other projects in community funded? I think that there's, I mean, not to this extent. There's been projects that were fair launched. I think that something like GMX, for example, where it was just some developers who built a really awesome decentralized derivatives platform, who didn't raise any money from what I understand. They only kept, from what I can remember, 0.8% of token supply, and just launched a killer product. That's a pure anomaly. But in our case, we did need capital to pay overhead. And instead of going, and we could have easily raised this from, a handful of our VC network. We wanted to not go that route this time. This is, and don't get me wrong, I personally am not opposed to that model. Master Ventures, as a venture builder, is also raising funds for other projects right now, and we are going that traditional route. But when you're defining a brand like Commonwealth, you have to understand what are the ethos, the values, and what is this community about. And as a somewhat decentralized team, we came to consensus that we wanted to make sure this is always a community first project, where the community, the believers, people who followed us early, joined early, were the ones that were going to reap the same benefits if it's successful. And in my heart, I believe it's going to be extremely successful. But it's not going to be the big VCs traditionally who have written checks into projects before that reap the benefits from from Commonwealth success. It's going to be you guys, the NFT holders, the Genesis NFT holders, Gen 2 NFT holders. If there is a public sale, it's going to be you guys. This is the only opportunity people have gotten to come in and provide startup capital for the team to actually launch this project. So if you guys have been part of that, I feel like that was a good decision. Not financial advice, of course, but it is a game changer. It's totally different than what people are usually used to.
Kyle, thank you for those responses. We have 3 people now wanting to ask questions, and we're running out of time. So I'm going to ask the accountant to ask the question, or whatever it is you would like to say. But please keep it to like 30 seconds maximum, and then I will ask whoever's responding to keep it to 30 seconds maximum, so we can get through the next 3 questions. So go ahead, the accountant. Welcome on stage.
Hey, thanks for having me. Hey, Kyle, great way to kind of give an overall view on the ethos. And in my, from my perspective, I can go on about this, but I'll keep it to 30 seconds. That ethos of Web3, I think, differentiates the entire market itself. And there's guys like myself that are sitting here on the sidelines trying to figure out how to deploy capital, knowing that we're retail and competing with VCs, and to have an avenue to take. I just really appreciate it. My question was the following. And that's what I was trying to understand. Is it the NFT mints is essentially the funds are being used to deploy capital into new tokens that are being selected, or do we buy the NFT and add funds, or how does that work?
Yeah, so
Yeah, good question.
I'm in
Go
the
ahead,
middle
Carl.
of, yeah, so I tried to do it yesterday. I want to do a video on Commonwealth that will, there is the light paper. It does explain a lot of things, but I feel that a lot of people are able to comprehend it better if I just explain it. And so, I've been working with the team. I just going back and forth on a couple of things I wanted to clarify before making the video, but I would say by Wednesday or so of this next week, I should have a video released. Don't hold me to that date exactly. I am quite busy, but I want to do it ASAP. But so just quickly, what I want to say is that I won't answer the entire question right now because some of that needs to be answered in more depth on a video. But the funds that have been raised so far through this Genesis Mint, you have to think about this exactly like a pre-sale or a private sale, where traditionally a new project that's a great idea, maybe they start building something, maybe they have a deck, they're going to traditionally go to venture capital, right? Not retail. They're going to go to venture capital to try to get startup funding. In Commonwealth's case, what they did, and they didn't go to any VCs. They just said, hey, what we're going to do, but they did need startup capital. They got salaries and overhead to pay. So what they did instead is they said, hey, we're going to give this opportunity to the retail. And if you spend $10,000 or $500 or $100 on an NFT right now, this Genesis 1 or Genesis 2, that money is being used for overhead and operations to get this thing off the ground. And with that being said, your NFT essentially is a SAF. In the investment world, we call a SAF a simple agreement for future tokens. It's the exact same thing. The only difference is that you don't have to deal with all the traditional BS of going through, a legal agreement and lawyers and blah, 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 blah. It's just a receipt of your investment into the Commonwealth project. And in exchange, you're going to get tokens for the NFT, as well as it's like investing in equity and in tokens. So you're getting some revenue share as well as tokens on behalf of that Genesis NFT. So I know that it didn't explain everything, but I hope that clarifies something. And I hope that you watch my video later to get the full clarity.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, and I'm not caught up. I'm actually working on how to make sure we account for Ethereum and Bitcoin in the real world. So there's still an amortized cost versus fair value. But so is it percentage based then? So if there's 8,500 NFTs, if I go buy 85 of these, then I'll get essentially 1% of that Commonwealth fund, or how does that work?
No,
I can take that one, Carl, if you want.
You're understanding it slightly wrong. There's going to be different funds that retail guys can invest into, where you can put in $50, $100, $5,000, $10,000. That has nothing to do with the Genesis NFT or the Gen 2 NFTs. Tim, maybe you can continue.
The funds will be deployed later, and when a fund is deployed, so in the money that's being invested by retail right now into these Genesis NFTs is strictly an investment into the early stage company or the early stage project. Later, after the actual protocol launches, a fund will open at that stage. Whoever wants to invest into a fund, it's the same thing as Sequoia or A16Z coming out and saying, hey, we're raising a new $10 million fund. And then at that point, you're going to go into stablecoin and you're going to invest into that fund into stablecoin. And then once that fund reaches its cap, then it begins to deploy into projects. And then you can see on the website in the token economy how that circular economy works from that point forward.
Got it. Yeah, and that is something that's only typically available to us accredited investors.
Yep.
That you're opening up to everyone. Yeah. Okay. That's awesome. I love that.
Thank you. I think it's amazing. Yeah.
Mr. Accountant, I'm going to have to ask for the other speakers to come up because we got 4 questions. And I know this is the end of the spaces right now because we only scheduled for 1 hour of AMA. But we're going to stay on as long as everybody else needs to get their questions answered. The team can stay on. Anybody else who's dropping off, thank you very much for being here. I just want to announce that the staking is actually live now. So the link will be tweeted out through the Commonwealth account, and you can actually actually go now and stake your Genesis One NFT if you have one. So who is coming up next? It is Almost Done. Please, with your question, come ahead.
Hi there. I'd just like to say I'm initially here because of in blind faith, really. Cole dropped his video in October. Thanks for that. Secondly, what the gentleman said a couple of chats back, fantastically said, and couldn't agree more. And thirdly is the ethos towards sort of mass adoption and ease of use. So my question is, once there's the app's launched and there's projects going, from a casual investor's point of view, are we sort of looking at it'll be as simple as it'll have the project there, they click on that, they put in their $20, done. As easy as that. So the average person in the street could use it. Is that what we're aiming for? Thanks.
Yeah, I'll take that one. Thanks very much for being an OG. Really, really nice that you backed the project on blind faith. Well done. Thank you, sir. The other question that you asked, so it will be as easy as that in the sense of you'll download the app and it'll be like, you know, any other Web2 app, like very, very intuitive, very, very user friendly. Tony is really working hard to make that the case. You can also look at some of the, if you look at the images that we've put out, the videos, you can start to see what the app is actually going to look like. And it will be, okay, it won't be one project that you'll be clicking on because, again, it's a pool of investments. So it's a pool of projects. Just like a typical fund, it won't just have one asset in it, it'll have multiple assets in it, but it will be, to start off, we're going to do themed funds. So you'll be able to see that, okay, this is maybe an NFT fund or a metaverse fund or a DeFi fund. You can click on that. And then if you like that one, then it's a question of, yes, okay, $100, what's your debit card number? Or $100, what is your USD, connect your wallet and then you can deploy in USDC. So it will be literally that easy. That is the ambition. I hope I haven't said anything out of sorts there, Tony. Am I okay with what I've said so far about the product?
No, you are indeed. Yeah, no problem, Tim.
Thanks for that. Thanks. Almost Done. Is that good for you, or can we move on to Henry, because I know Henry wants to also ask a question, or is it Acti? I think Almost Done has dropped off, actually. So, Acti, it looks like you're next in line to ask a question. Go ahead, sir. No, Henry, sorry. Henry, you're up.
I would just want to impute just one question. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. I want to ask, maybe people like me, just an ordinary person, who wish to introduce a project, how do I bring up this project to Commonwealth?
That's a great question, and it probably links more to the community fund. I don't know who'd like to explain the difference between the the normal investments through the retail through the app, and then the community fund. It's quite different. So, who wants to field that one? I'm going to throw that one to Kyle, if you're there.
Yeah, no worries. You said sorry, I was just helping Park. You said the difference between the community fund and the legacy fund, right?
So Henry's question was, if he had a project that he wanted to get funded, how would he bring that forward to Commonwealth to get funding for that project?
Okay, good question. So depends on it really depend on a couple of things. So the community fund is really a chance to give the community members and the DAO members a chance to kind of well they're going to be autonomous, right? So it's fully community driven, community proposals, community voting, which means that and also there's going to be a cap on how much investment a community fund can make. So that cap will be about 13 ETH worth of wealth tokens. And so that's going to be, so if you're looking for somewhere, in today's market, that's about $25,000. In the future, if ETH goes up to $10,000, you're looking at about $130,000 check. And that's a different process. Now, if you want to be invested by Commonwealth by one of the traditional funds, you have to get in contact with one of the council members. Now, we don't know exactly how many council members there will be. We expect there to be somewhere around 20. But in that case, then, it would need, the deal would need to be proposed by the council members, then sent to one of the funds, where then the funds could vote on if they wanted to invest in the project or not.
Okay.
That's great, Carl. Thanks for that. Are you covered there, Henry?
Yes, I'm covered. My last question. How do I get involved with the Genesis?
Great question. So Henry's question is, how does he get involved in the Genesis NFT? So on the 22nd of May, Henry, we will be starting the minting for the Genesis NFT. If you follow our Twitter, you will get many updates about when the mint is going to go live and the link for the minting page. Stay tuned for that. But 22nd of May, you'll have a chance to go on and mint. I would, get in there quickly.
Okay.
Henry, just a comment there. If you want to get involved in the Genesis One, they are available on the secondary market on OpenSea. There is quite a big gap between the buy and the sell because there's not many people selling. So if you are interested in buying a Genesis One, they are a lot more expensive than the Gen 2s. I would recommend making an offer opposed to just going and buying off the floor, especially now that our staking is going live. I think a lot of people are going to be staking, which is going to reduce the supply even more.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks a lot, Henry. Thanks for coming up. One last question, I think, and then we're going to probably close the AMA. So, Acti, if you're there, can we make Acti a speaker? Acti, are you able to speak?
Oh, hi guys. Am I coming through?
Yes, you're coming through.
All right, thank you so much. Yeah, it's glad to see you guys up here. Like I'm also a Gen 1 holder. I haven't been really keeping up with everything, so if it's already been asked and answered, just please skip my questions. I was reading some weeks ago or something. I can't remember when this was, about the revenue share. So I wanted to know how the revenue share is changing with this new Genesis collection, the version 2. And then the stages of the app, like is there a beta out? Can we play with it, or what's sort of the timeline there? And yeah, so, sorry again, I missed the first half as well, so I'll go back and listen if it's already been answered. Thank you.
No problem. Thanks. You can actually go on our Telegram right now. Kenny is asking similar question to you, and you can actually go and just follow the chat that's just been discussed there. But I'll ask Tony as well, if Tony's there to come in and just answer a little bit on both those questions, if you can, Tony.
I think I caught both questions. The app is still in development, so there's no beta as such at the moment. We're aiming to launch October, November, ideally. The earlier the better. There will be one or possibly two closed betas and possibly an open beta. They wouldn't be starting until probably late July, I would think. Between now and then, though, kind of once a month between now and platform launch, we're planning at the moment, what we're going to reveal when. We're also planning on doing some kind of behind the scenes stuff for the Genesis NFT holders as well, and getting them involved in some product development discussions and kind of more localized testing, I guess. Does that answer the full scope of the question, Tim? So I'm keeping an eye on the deployment, so I'm a bit distracted.
Acti's giving a thumbs up, so I think so, yeah. And Acti, pop on over to the Telegram. I think those questions are being asked and answered as well right now. We have one more question request. So I'm going to allow for one more question from Crip de la Crip, I think it is. Welcome to ask your question or whatever it is you'd like to share. Go ahead, Crip. If you're on mute, just unmute yourself. You there, Crip? Okay, I think Crip's having some technical issues. I think, guys, it's gone a little bit past the 1 hour for the AMA. If there's anything the panel would like to share as a last few words, otherwise look forward to the next AMA and a bunch more talking next week about Commonwealth. Please do follow Commonwealth to stay up to date with all the developments and everything related to the Series 2 minting coming on the 22nd of May. And then much more news and big news coming as well in the coming weeks. So looking forward to looking forward to sharing that with you guys as and when it's able to be shared. I don't think we're getting back Crip de la Crip. Apologies, but Crip, go into the Telegram and ask your question in there. The people are in there 24/7, it feels like, dealing with the questions and discussing with the community. Is there any other things from the panel that you'd like to say? Any last words?
Yeah, just one question for Tony, just because we're on that topic right now about staking. Is there any lockup for the staking? So if someone goes and stakes one of the NFTs, do they have a lockup period, or can they just unstake at any time?
No, they can unstake and restake at any time. I would need to check. Like if you, I don't know, let's say we were 12 hours into a 24-hour period and you unstaked. I'm not sure if we round up or round down from a rewards point of view, but yeah, you can stake and unstake at any moment in time.
Thank you very
Thanks.
much.
Thanks, Tony. You can now get back to dealing with the tech side of things. Thanks very much for that.
Thanks,
and for taking your time out. Thanks everybody who joined us here for the AMA, and stay in touch on Twitter and Telegram. Thanks, Kyle.
Thanks, everybody. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Thanks a lot. Have a good day.
Cheers, guys. Thanks very much.